Let's bring in Jacob Becraft now, the CEO of Strand Therapeutics. He joins us from Boston to talk more about this partnership and the outlook for the business. Jacob, thank you very much indeed for joining us today. First of all, just give us a line on where we stand in terms of the fight against COVID, because this applies to all vaccine developers. Can the current portfolio of vaccines stop this new strain, or do biotech, Moderna, Pfizer and all their partners in this fight against the pandemic have to go back to the drawing board?
I fully believe that the messenger RNA technology that we have today, that's being pioneered by the folks in the mRNA vaccine division, such as Moderna and BioNTech, is going to be ready to tackle our current pandemic effects. But what's actually beautiful about messenger RNA, and what I believe I've heard at least Ugur Sahin, the CEO of BioNTech, say, is that because mRNA is so versatile, because we can just recode and rewrite and then remanufacture any sort of a new strain, if there is something that occurs in the virus's mutation that we have to go after, those vaccines will be able to actually pivot and actually go after any sort of a new strain. And that's really what's beautiful about the messenger RNA technology, and why we got into this space now to bring mRNA beyond vaccines and into areas like cancer and other sorts of rare diseases, where we think the technology can also have a massive impact for patients.
So Jacob Martin here, great to see, and hope you're continuing to keep safe. So messenger RNA, that technology, which you're using as part of this deal as well. With regards to coronavirus, though, you're saying that, look, it can be tweakable and customizable so that it can be made ready to attack mutations of coronavirus strains as they continue to emerge. My question to you is, how fast and how cheaply or expensively can that happen? Because, I mean, taking a step back, one thing that you've been saying for quite a while now on the record is that, look, if we had off-the-shelf vaccines already pre-developed using our messenger RNA technology, we'd be ready. It would be the equivalent of sort of having a vaccine version of the Manhattan Project standing by. But how quickly can it happen, and how cost-effectively can it happen, this tweaking of mRNA technology?
So I can't exactly speak to what the economics of the manufacturing are inside of BioNTech and Moderna. Only the executives there would know that. But I can tell you that mRNA can be produced in a matter of days at scale once you have a ready-made template to be made. And the reprogramming of the messenger RNA, the adjustment to the string of letters on the mRNA can be changed in a matter of instances. If you look at the reports of those messenger RNA vaccines, they designed the COVID vaccine in 48 hours, and they moved from there into production in a matter of days for that phase 1. And you're right, what I have been saying is that if we had already made a number of different mRNA vaccines against a number of known viruses that are out there in the world, we could have simply flipped that switch on and begun producing at scale, and hopefully doing the later stage studies that we were doing in the fall of this year, rather than starting all the way at the drawing board. And if that had been done, if we had already been ready with vaccines ready to roll out that were proven safe to some level, we could actually be rolling out mRNA vaccines during last summer instead of now.
So it makes absolute total sense to me, Jacob, but what happened so that this obviously did not happen?
Yeah, well, this is now, we're seeing the cost of underinvesting in public health, and we're seeing the cost of underinvesting in sorts of these transformational technologies. I think my real push to the leaders of the entire world, both the United States and the entire world, is really that, the cost of prevention is always hard to write off. It's always hard to know when you're over-investing in prevention. And you mentioned something that I said about a Manhattan Project for vaccines. And I think what it takes for us as a society is to think about this not as a public health issue, but actually as a defensive issue. We've been living in a time of incredible, global peace for the past 60 years, and we haven't really taken a chance to say that maybe the next threat could come from something that isn't human, maybe from something that we can't even see. And we have to make those defensive investments today.
Jacob, can you bring us up to speed with what's in the oncology pipeline, whether it's clinical trial stage or phase 1 testing? How close are these products to FDA approval in China or in this region broadly?
Our products, we are a company that spun out of the Massachusetts Institute of Technology just 2 years ago. And so we're actually moving at an incredibly rapid pace, not as rapid as the COVID vaccines, of course, but at a rapid pace to be in the clinic next year and begin testing these products. We're using mRNA rather than to teach the body how to fight off a COVID virus, but to teach the body actually to fight off tumor cells. And that takes a different level of engineering, and it actually is the next step, the next generation of where mRNA will go in the future and how it's going to revolutionize all areas of medicine.
Okay, Jacob, listen, fantastic talking to you. Appreciate the time, and best of luck with what you're doing with BeiGene.